Very interesting results from a study released today, finding the cleaner the air, the more hurricanes. That's from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA. Lower air pollution levels leading to more hurricanes in the Atlantic and fewer tropical cyclones in the Pacific. That's because aerosol pollution cools the air. Less pollution means warmer air, warmer water, more storms. Joining us right now to unpack this study is state climatologist David Robinson. It's good to see you, David.
Good evening.
All right, listen, on the surface, this study is a real head scratcher because it really does seem counterintuitive. So why would lower pollution levels lead to more hurricanes?
Well, it's not as if it leads to more hurricanes. It's that the pollution stymied some of the hurricanes in the past. So by removing the pollution, we're getting back to a normal pattern that the atmosphere would expect. What the pollution did was kind of take the legs out of these developing storms by cooling the ocean surface, putting particulate matter in the atmosphere, which helped to warm the atmosphere, and it stabilized the atmosphere more, so there were less storms. So what we're really not getting rid of the pollution to get more storms, we're getting rid of the pollution and getting back to a more regular pattern of hurricanes.
Regular could be worse, though. All right, so listen, we've been told to go solar, to cut down on fossil fuel usage, reduce greenhouse gases, pollution, global warming, save the planet, fight sea level rise. What do you say to people who hear this study, though, and they say, well, what are we doing this for?
Well, ultimately, for instance, the pollution kills hundreds of thousands of people every year. And hurricanes, as bad as they are, don't kill that many most often. So that's one way of looking at it. We're getting rid of something that is really harmful and getting back to a situation that, albeit it's not perfect, isn't as harmful. So that would be one take I'd make. The other part of it is, it's easier to clean the atmosphere out of these particulates, and that's actually could enhance global warming because that tends to cool the atmosphere. With those gone, not only more hurricanes, but a little more global warming. And global warming is expected not to increase the number of hurricanes. It might even decrease it some, but there's a catch there. The hurricanes that do eventually exist are likely to be stronger. So, there's winning and losing with everything when we talk about this.
Well, while we do have you, we do want to talk also about Atlantic hurricane season predictions. Based on what you're hearing, listen, we've been showing some of the video from the past few years' hurricane seasons. We saw how bad it was here in New Jersey just within a matter of 2 weeks. We got absolutely clobbered last year by first Henri and then Ida. Based on what you're hearing, are we expecting another year like last year, perhaps worse?
Yeah, there's some preliminary outlooks out, and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration will have theirs out in just a couple of weeks, just before the start of the hurricane season officially in the 1st of June. And it looks like it may be an active season, in part because of this La Nina event in the tropical Pacific may exist for a third consecutive year. It's kind of odd to have a triplet of La Nina. But La Nina tends to allow the air to rise in the adjacent Atlantic Ocean and the storms to develop. And that's what we had the last 2 years, which were quite active. So if La Nina persists into the fall, we can look forward or look toward a more active season. Also, the ocean temperatures, and ties in with the other, are warmer than average right now in the Atlantic Basin and the Gulf of Mexico. And that's the fuel for these storms. So yeah, there is some concern this may be a somewhat active season, but there are a lot of other factors that come into play that we really can't get our hands on right now. We'll have to see as we get into the season, whether we have dust coming off the African continent, which takes the legs out from the storms, whether we have more impulses come off of Africa, which lead to storms. So there's a lot of pieces still to come into play.
New Jersey state climatologist David Robinson, always a gentleman and very gracious with your time. Thanks so much for joining us.
You bet.
All right. On May 24th, as David just mentioned, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration will be releasing its forecast for the upcoming hurricane season. Now, can we expect more activity than in previous years? David just gave us a little bit of a preview on that, but we are going to keep you informed. And of course, catch our special. Be sure to join us for the Hurricane Factor, Tuesday, May 17th at 7 p.m. You don't want to miss that.